If you want to get in contact with me, the best way to do it is on Instagram. If you just want to say what up, if you want to tell me you love my videos, you can tell me that you hate my videos, but the best way to do that is on Instagram. Peace, y'all. Johnny Fastlane here. So, Polo G puts TikTok on blast, and Lil TJ, Lil Yachty, J. Cole, Tory Lanez, and Ray J all go down to the front lines and protest with the protesters. Roc Marci talks about producing Stove God Cook's new album, and Faith Evans gets arrested for domestic violence. Let's talk hip-hop. Alright, so Lil Cap-A-Lot, or Polo G, goes on Instagram on his story, and he basically starts talking about a lot of stuff that's going on, right? So first he puts up this post, and this is a report from CNN that says the autopsy reveals that George Floyd did not die from strangulation by a Minnesota cop, right? So Polo G says cap, right? And of course they could pay off the coroner to say whatever, so that is cap, right? Then he says that he's no longer using TikTok because they are showcasing a blatant disrespect by trying to silence our movement, right? And then he shows that TikTok, he takes a screenshot and shows that TikTok has basically canceled or got rid of the Black Lives Matter hashtag, right? And then he goes on to talk about something else that happened because some cops got shot in LA or something like that, and I guess he must have saw that on the news just really quickly, but then of course they're focusing on NASA and they're focusing on the riots and black people getting killed, but they're not really focusing on the cops getting shot because they don't want us to think that cops are able to get shot, right? That they bleed like we bleed, right? So anyway, here's what Polo G says, right? So for 4 hours straight, they reported about some NASA shit and never touched back on the officers being shot. They don't want to set a trend and give people the confidence nationwide to go against the police in this manner. Yet, what they do is if the cops kill one of us, that's the headline on every news station because they want us to feel like this is the norm, and that's why it's okay for us to see firsthand footage of us being treated inhumane, because this type of tone is what they want to set for black man all across the world, right? And then he says a dog has more rights than a black man in America. Enough is enough, right? Then he goes, burn this bitch down if you got to. That's the only way they're gonna feel our pain. And this ain't just an uproar for George Floyd. This is for Mike Brown. This is for Trayvon Martin. This is for Laquan McDonald. Years of racism, miseducating us in our culture, and enslavement and everything else, and everything that we endure all over the world and all over the country, right? 2 federal officers reportedly shot, 1 killed in Oakland. I watched it live on CNN. They can't make something like that the main focal point of news because they don't want to set a trend, right? And then he keeps going on and on. But yo, Polo G is straight up telling all straight facts, right? And it ain't really no need for me to really break it down or talk about what the hell he's saying because he's talking plain English and he's talking straight facts. I mean, this is a young nigga, but he knows what's going on, right? And then also, yeah, TikTok did get rid of the Black Lives Matter hashtag altogether, right? So after that, actually, TikTok saw this and they responded back to Polo G. So they said, at TikTok, we deeply value the diverse voices among our users, creators, and artists, partners, and employees. We stand with the black community, and we are proud to provide a platform where Black Lives Matter and George Floyd generate powerful and important content with over 1 billion views. We are committed to fostering a space where everyone is seen and heard. TikTok, right? So basically, they had to go back there and just re-put the hashtags for George Floyd and for Black Lives Matter because they actually canceled it and took it off completely, right? It's crazy though, but TikTok, they always do that. They try to take down controversial hashtags. They don't want anything up there except for music stuff, and they don't want anything political basically, or anything religious on there basically, right? Which is all crazy, man. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments.
Fortunately, we gotta do shit like this to get our voices heard, but I feel like, we gotta stand for something or fall for anything, you know what I'm saying? So, it's just, it doesn't make any sense to me. As I sat home, and I'm trying to make it add up as to why we have to go through breaking windows, demolishing our, this is ours. This is, you know what I'm saying? We may not own it, but we live here. We raising our families here, and we building up our lives here. So it's unfortunate we gotta do this just to show our frustration. You know what I mean? It shouldn't take that. But that's the life we live in. And we gotta do what we gotta do. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna stick together because that's most important, whether you black, whether you white, green, yellow, purple, we together. You know what I'm saying? We're a family. And we're gonna show them what it takes. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Black Lives Matter.
All right, so that was Lil Yachty basically on the front lines, man, with the protesters talking about what's going on, right? And so the other day he went on Twitter and he goes, I'm not fucking with what's going on in Minnesota. Thinking about flying out there and walking the streets with the people. What celebrity will meet me there? Dead ass, right? So Lil Yachty didn't go to Minnesota or anything like that, but he did go to the front lines in Atlanta, right? I mean, he didn't have to get on a plane. He didn't have to travel far because there are protests going on in every major city across America right now, right? So that's Lil Yachty on the front lines basically talking about how, yo, it's crazy that we have to tear up our own stuff in our own neighborhoods, that we live here, but you know, what else are we to do? We need to be heard, right? And so not only Lil Yachty went to the front lines, but in LA, Little TJ actually went out on the front lines too, right? So Little TJ went out there. He didn't have any security. I think that Lil Yachty did, but Lil TJ was there walking around with the people. He was taking selfies. He was just out there like, yo, it's just me and my homeboys, and we just out here with the people on the front lines, right? Ray J actually pulled up in his car. He was in a drop top all black Rolls Royce, black on black Rolls Royce, pulled up. Everybody was chanting, get out the car, get out the car. Ray J stepped out the car, hit him with a fist like that, and was like, yo, I'm out here with y'all too, on the ground too, right? And this is crazy because Ray J actually pulled up to the crowd in his whip, right? But then again, I mean, like, that car versus black people's lives, you know, that's nothing, right? So hell yeah, whatever, pull up and whatever, right? So that was Ray J. J. Cole was out there. He was in North Carolina and Fayetteville on the front lines, had a mask on. It looked like J. Cole definitely did have security. I mean, shit, he's a Grammy award-winning rapper. So yeah, he had security out there. And then Tory Lanez went out there too. So I don't have any footage of Tory Lanez going out there. But Tory Lanez kind of, after he went out there, sat down and just kind of talked about everything, right? And he was talking about like his celebrity friends and how a lot of them are saying like, you know, we really need to not, you know, loot and not break stuff. And he was just kind of expressing his frustration about how, you know, he saw somebody crying on the video because they had like broke into the Gucci store, and he was just feeling like, Gucci? Doesn't Gucci have insurance? Like, why is this black woman crying about the Gucci store being broken into, right? And he was just saying that, you know, a lot of his celebrity friends are saying like, don't go out there, don't loot, and don't, you know, be so angry and upset. But it's like, you have to go out there and just feel the pain of the people, is what Tory Lanez was saying, right? He was explaining that he's not even American, he's from Canada, but he's lived in America for the last, you know, 9-10 years. He lives in LA, and that he sees this going on, and he just feels kind of bad because he is a black man in America anyway, right? He feels disgusted, and he feels the pain of the people that are out there, and he says that he's gonna go every day until the protests stop, just because he feels what's going on as a black man in America, which, you know, I feel Tory Lanez, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just all crazy, man. But at least like some of these dudes are going out there and they're actually really showing, you know, they're putting their money where their mouth is, right? Which is pretty dope, right? But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Alright, yo, so this is dope, right? Because Roc Marci actually does a interview with Hip Hop DX, right? And they ask him about a bunch of stuff, but one of the things they ask him about is him working with Stove God Cooks on Reasonable Drought, right? Which is Stove God Cooks is, you know, his debut album, right? And basically he was talking about it and he was saying like, okay, so basically Busta Rhymes put him on, Busta Rhymes put Stove God Cooks on too, you know, technically. I mean, he signed to Busta Rhymes, right? And the whole situation is that he was just saying that before he started working, you know, on the album Reasonable Drought with Stove God Cooks, that he didn't really hear like much of Stove God Cooks, you know, discography. But what he did hear He just knew that Stove God Cooks would be interesting to work with, and also that he was dope as an MC, right? And as they started like working on the project together, organically it just came together to where, you know, Cooks didn't have any features, right? It was even at one point where Roc Marci kind of felt like he wanted to get on a song, right? And that even Cooks wanted him to get on a song, but it was like Roc Marci kind of was like, I think that this thing is better with you and you alone, because clearly you are handling this whole album just with you and by yourself, right? I mean, the only real feature that Stove God Cooks really had on there was Roc Marciano himself, which is a producer, right? He didn't rap on there at all, right? So lyrically, Stove God Cooks held it down with the hooks and all the verses, so that we can just kind of get used to him and know that he can hold up an album on his own, right? And Roc Marci said that really Stove God Cooks didn't want to really lean on any like major or famous features to get clout or whatever like that, because easily, you know, Stove God Cooks could have had Lord Jamar on his album, could have had Busta Rhymes on his album, could have had Rod Digger on his album, mad people, right? He probably could have had Conway the Machine, West Side Gun, like he could have had mad people on his shit, but he didn't, right? Which is all dope because he wanted to showcase his own talent, right? And then of course in the second album he's probably gonna have features or whatever like that, and all that is cool, but I'm just waiting for the visuals to come out for Reasonable Doubt, right? But anyway, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Alright, so with all this, you know, coronavirus going on and protesting going on, this one like completely slipped under the radar because Faith Evans got arrested the other night in the middle of the night, like 1 o'clock in the morning, for like domestic violence, right? So the whole situation is, I guess the cops were called, and I don't know who called the cops, but they showed up to Faith Evans' crib. You know, she was there with her husband, Stevie J, and apparently Stevie J had like a bunch of scratches and everything on his face, so they arrested Faith Evans, yo, and they booked her for felony battery and domestic violence. But then, you know, she bonded out, you know, and now she's gonna be, I guess, waiting trial or whatever the case may be. But you know, it's a felony, and I don't know. So usually what happens is, y'all know, man, the spouse, you know, Stevie J, he ain't no snitch, no bitch, no cop caller. He's probably gonna be like, nah, it was all good, you know, I ain't trying to press no charges. But the state might pick it up and then still press charges on her, right? And she's already just got off probation for DUI a couple years ago. So, you know, I don't know, man. Faith Evans is going through a lot. But let me know what y'all think about this and everything else in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Follow me at Johnny Fastlane on Instagram, and y'all already know what to do. Peace.